Happy Valentine's Day. I'm John Gray, and it's just plain living.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm Peggy Burton.
And I'm Jim Fuller.
How are you?
Fine. Happy Valentine's Day, Peggy.
How Valentine-y you look.
Well, you as well. Look at your red. I have, if ever there was to be someone that needed to wear a red leopard, it would be you. That is just, that's hot there.
Thank you
with
so
that
much.
little bit of fur at the top and the bottom.
Things,
Look
yeah.
at you.
There you go.
We were just telling Peggy how hot she was.
Oh,
Yeah.
thanks a lot.
How are things on the street?
How are things on the street? Things are looking good on the street.
Are they looking good on the street? Good. What's happening down at South Jackson?
We got a comedian coming up. And
Yeah,
March the 8th.
we've got a interview with him that we did
good.
at some point. We're gonna.
Cho? Is that his
Yeah, Henry Cho. We're gonna bring
Henry
that on.
Cho.
I called him up and interviewed him the other day, and we're gonna bring him on probably
he sounds
next
like
week.
a lot of fun.
Well, he's been everywhere. He's been on all the late night shows and been in Vegas, and he's very, very interesting to talk to. He's been doing it for 25 years.
Well, I think it might be nice to let the public know he's a clean comedian.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So Henry Cho's a comedian, right?
Yeah, he's a comedian,
Yeah, okay.
and
And they say
he
it's
works all the
hysterical.
clubs, and the thing about it is he's a really good comedian. Doesn't have to be vulgar.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, you think about Jackie Gleason and all of those guys that did the really good stuff years ago. Red Skelton.
Oh, my
Red
God.
Skelton never did. He probably didn't even know a cuss word. Well, I'm sure he
maybe
did, but
he didn't have to use them.
they didn't have to use them on
And then there
television.
was Red
then.
Fox.
Oh, my
Yeah. Red Fox and,
can't even go there with
Mom's
Red Fox.
Mabley. You remember Mom's Mabley, don't
I
you?
remember Mom's Mabley.
They had party records. I remember Mom and Dad had party records.
I remember some of those.
With that stuff on it, and Justin Wilson was who ended up being the Cajun cook, was had party records that were pretty raunchy.
I mean, on the good side, there's Bill Cosby. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
He's awesome. Carol Burnett, that whole crew.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Yeah, and
Sid
it's
Caesar.
It's
I mean, you could go on and on and
Henry
on.
Cho is that type of a guy. He's good enough, and he's Oriental looking, but he was born and raised in Knoxville, Tennessee, so he has a Southern voice,
he has a Southern
and it's
voice.
really kind of weird because when he speaks, you don't expect him to sound the way he does, and so that's
Exactly.
part of his whole
You can go
shtick
on,
is
www.southjackson.org and read about him.
or go on henrycho.com
Well, yeah,
and
and read
hear
about
what
him.
he does.
And I think you get tickets through the Civic Center.
Uh-huh.
455-5321, and if you get your tickets ahead of time, I believe they're $5 cheaper.
Yeah, and
20 and
what
25,
it
yeah.
is I asked him. I said, how come? Because he called the Civic Center and wanted to rent the Civic Center. It was not something that we went and searched for.
Right.
He called
searched
up,
for us.
and the reason why is he comes to Tim's Ford Lake all the time.
And somebody
And-
told him
and-
he might want to contact
And people,
us.
well, people said, when are you going to do a show around here? And enough people finally said that he and his wife said, well, she was driving by and saw South Jackson and said, well, there's a nice little venue there in Tullahoma. Why don't we just do a show?
So I hope it goes well
Yeah.
because I think he's certainly worth the money.
So it's already scheduled. He's
Yeah,
gonna do
he's
it.
March the
He's gonna do
8th.
it March the 8th. Everybody needs a laugh. Does that start at 7 or 7:30? I forgot.
I
think
don't know
I
yet.
think it might be 7:30, but
I don't know.
you can call for information.
Yeah.
It'll be on the sign out front.
But I know Jimmy and I tried to do comedy at the Legion years
You are a
ago,
comic act.
and it just didn't work.
No, not John and I, but we tried to hire comedians
I
and bring
see.
them in. And
Well, it's-
John and I were always comedy, but
Yeah.
it's
especially
a
John.
tough thing to do. Stand-up comedy takes a lot of, number one, courage, just to get up there and lay yourself open and hope people laugh.
Well, what happens also as well is we got in touch. We had a fellow down in Lynchburg who works that circuit, who is a songwriter and works that circuit, and met a bunch of folks. And we had people at the Legion of the caliber of Henry Cho, people who had been on Comedy Central and all that. But most people in a small town have that feeling that you have to travel to see somebody
a good
really
comic.
good.
7 p.m.
Oh, 7 p.m. Thanks. The wall has
The
spoken.
wall speaks back here.
Thanks.
So that's you know, and so they
hope
thought,
people
well, if
come
it's
out
at the
for it.
Legion, they can't be that good.
But
And they were incredible.
I'm
We had
sure
some
they were.
incredible comedians out
Larry
there.
Winter, I hope you're out there. You need to come to this show.
Yeah.
He's our hometown comedian.
So what do you think about the Grammys? Did you pay? Did anybody?
I thought they were pretty good.
I did too.
Grammys?
Yeah.
I watched the Grammys.
And I was totally impressed with Tony Bennett and Glenn Campbell. We were a little more my age, but you know,
Tony knows how to pick his partners.
Tony
He had the,
Tony Bennett
Underwood
is 85,
singing with him.
Yeah, 85 years
I
old, but
know.
he's got in the last 5 or 6 years he's been doing duets
right.
with younger entertainers, and
Right.
He's sort of reinvented his career all over again.
And that was a wise move because
Yeah.
he's done duets with, well, Carrie Underwood on the Grammy and, who did I see him with the other night? I think Beyonce. I don't know, a lot of,
I think he did. Didn't he do a
Huge
duet
stars.
with Amy Winehouse as well?
yes, he did, back in the day.
Before she passed away, yeah.
Right.
Speaking of our great loss,
Whitney Houston.
Whitney Houston. What a voice. What a voice.
Well, I'm going to bring you a piece of history, folks.
I'm ready.
Piece
I
of
need it.
history, and it's got a little bit to do with me, and it has a little bit to do with Whitney Houston.
All right, good.
You know that I have a album called Rejected. It's about all the songs I've had rejected in Nashville,
Yeah, I
and
like that.
so we put them all on there. Well, something else I have is this is the song file I have, and it's Beauty. And Beauty is a song that I wrote for my wife on our 19th wedding anniversary. And the fellow I was working with at that time, his name was Wade Conklin, and Wade worked with Joe Sullivan of they were Charlie Daniels' manager and Donna Summer's manager, and on and on and on and on and on. And he knew this fella by the name of Clive Davis.
Oh, I know who Clive Davis is.
Clive Davis
Yeah.
invented
Oh my gosh.
is Motown.
Motown
Is
big
the world,
time. Yes.
you know. And so when Whitney did Dolly Parton's song,
I will always
I Will Always Love You, this song that I wrote, Beauty, that I wrote for Fran, we had done a demo on, and Wade said, this is a perfect song for Whitney Houston. I'm going to send it to Clive Davis. So I have this letter right here. Dear Clive, we have demoed this song with Dolly in mind. I'll always love you. Since it is not, since she is not recording for a while, we thought it wise to go straight to you for Whitney. Like I Will Always Love You, it's simple, beautiful, and obvious. We can't recall a hit with the title Beauty Lies in the Eyes of the Beholder, although everyone is familiar with the phrase. The song is uplifting, almost inspirational, and could be the title and concept of a whole album project, not to mention a beautiful video. Pardon our somewhat country demo, but you'll get the idea. Sincerely, Wade. And Clive Davis writes back,
Oh my gosh.
Wade, I did listen, but I just don't think Whitney is headed in this direction right now. Thank you for sending this. It's a good song, Clive. So I've been rejected by Clive Davis.
No, you've been rejected by the best.
Just like the song says, Alan, Reba, Merle and his sons, Garth, Dolly, Brooks and Dunn, George, Vince, even Dottie West. Hell, I've been turned down by the best.
I like it.
Plus Clive Davis right here. There it is. Signed Clive Davis right over there. Right
You know,
there.
John and I were
Clive.
at an event. Was it last week? We were doing you were hosting the
We were doing the Diamond Studded event.
Yeah. And Kat McMurray, who you know is a great talent, she was there. She was the DJ and kind of entertainment for that event. And she comes up to me and she says, "Jim, why don't you and I do that Whitney's that song that we used to do at the Legion, Saving All My Love for You?"
Yeah.
And I said, well, number one, Kat's a really good singer. I said, Kat, I struggle with that song, and I hadn't even sang it in 4 years. I don't think I'm going there tonight. So anyway,
You should have done it, though. It would have been very appropriate. Timely.
I would have probably been embarrassing because Kat has tremendous range, and
Yeah,
you know,
she's a talent. We're proud of her.
John and
all that
I,
she does for
in
this
our old
community.
karaoke days, would take on any song
Any of them.
if that's what needed to happen in that environment. But,
And if you didn't know the words, you didn't make it.
We made them
make
up.
them up.
Make
And go
'em up.
on.
You make 'em up. That's right.
Most people. I was watching some movie the other day, and there were two people in a car, and they were singing the words to some song that everybody knows.
It was an Elton John song, wasn't it?
And, yeah, and neither one of them were singing the right words.
Just kept singing, yeah.
But they were singing the words that they heard.
Rocket Man. That's
Rocket Man,
Rocket
and
Man, yeah.
thought that's what the real
They thought the
words were.
there, but
Yeah.
they were happy.
But everybody was happy.
Yeah, and then the gist of the commercial was that the sound system in this particular car, I don't remember what it was, is so good that you actually can hear them.
You could tell what the real
actually
words
tell what
really
those
are.
words are, you know.
Well, I learned a long time ago singing with stage bands and stuff that anytime they asked me if I knew the song, I always said yes. And then, you know, I just made up the words if I didn't know all the words, and it worked.
It does.
I could rhyme.
It does work, and Jerry's. John's brother Jerry is a great guitar player. Always
Right,
has
I've
been.
heard him. He's awesome.
And we used to get together in Atlanta, and you know, several musicians, and we would sing and go on. They always let me sing, because they assumed I knew all the words to the
Right.
songs.
And you pretended you did.
Well, I didn't.
And you felt like you did, didn't you?
Yeah, and at that time, country was big, and
Yeah.
and I did know
Country's
a lot.
always big.
Yeah, and it's come and gone over the years. But I mean,
Yeah.
but a lot of them I really didn't know. I just made them up.
Exactly.
So as we went along.
That's right. That's right. So, Valentine's offering.
Valentine's.
You want a Valentine's offering?
I do. I want a
Okay.
Valentine's offering.
Here's a Valentine's offering right here.
Is this written by you?
Yes, it's called Simply in Love. I'm a simple man. I like simple things. Russian caviar and French champagne. Big Lincoln cars with soft leather seats and ballet shoes on my feet. For someone like me, it's so easy to be simply in love with you. I'm simply in love with the one of a kind who simply drives me out of my mind. Because none can compare, no matter who, I'm simply in love with you. I'll take you on a simple honeymoon. The Riviera is nice in June. Don't worry about packing, we'll buy simple clothes. Some Pierre, some Calvin, whoever's in vogue. Please say you'll go, because I can't wait to be simply in love with you.
That's
I'm
sweet.
simply in love with the one of a kind who simply drives me out of my mind. Because none can compare, no matter who, I'm simply in love with you. Now, there are 8 true wonders of this world, but they all seem simple compared to you, girl. Because I'm simply in love with the one of a kind who simply drives me out of my mind. Because none can compare, no matter who, I'm simply in love with you. It's not complicated. It's simply the truth. I'm simply in love with you.
That's beautiful.
Happy Valentine's, friend.
That's really
I'm in love
nice.
with you.
Yeah.
All right, and I think
Fran,
they
you
give us a
lucky
big
girl.
X right there,
No,
didn't they?
right.
While
That's
John was
a
doing
take
Did
that.
I get the big X?
You got the big X
well,
while we're doing
I've been
that, so.
rejected by better than you.
All right, we'll be right back in just a moment with more telehome, with more living.
Are we living?
We're living.
We're living.
Living, dying, burning.
Tommy Anderton and Martha Jane Barton from Traders Bank to share why our Channel 6 viewers should bank with us in 2012. Martha Jane, I've known you to be employed at Traders Bank practically all my life. What is so special about Traders that's allowed you to enjoy 52 years employment?
Tommy, there are several things that make Traders the best. At Traders, it's like family as an employee and for our customers. Each customer receives exceptional personal service. At Traders, we're flexible and timely with our responses. At Traders, we listen and accommodate.
Martha Jane, thank you for that testimonial. Our New Year's resolution is to continue treating customers like family. It's truly why so many people never bank anywhere else.
Traders Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
These are the children who had no chance. They're known as Brazil street kids. They wander the streets dying by the thousands from drugs, AIDS, and bullets. Most of them have been abandoned, left to survive on their own. These children needed a place to go. I had to do something. So I brought it up at Rotary. People heard about what we were doing and asked how they could help. Together, we raised funds to give them a home and open the school. They're learning a trade. Now hundreds of kids have a family and a future. They're contributing to the community because Rotary believes in making things better for everyone.
Rotary is making a difference right now.
They have hope.
Rotary gives people an opportunity to help.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back, and I'm fortunate to have my good friend Monty Halcomb back on with us this week, and we are talking about the deer population in the state of Tennessee and the fact that some of the people in the legislature are trying to do away with the organizational part of the wildlife governmental arm to be able to farm deer in the state of Tennessee for the purposes of selling them to big game hunters.
Correct.
And that's not a good thing, is it, Monty?
It's not really a good thing, and we're dealing primarily with white-tailed deer, our native species, and the way the bills have been written, it will allow these operators to actually take white-tailed deer out of the wild and put them in pens. And when they put them in these pens, they raise the offspring, and then some other hunters will come in and shoot them. I shouldn't say hunters. They're not really hunters. There's no fair chase, and I think we have some PowerPoint, or we have some slides that kind of cover that issue, and that's one of the issues. And another part of this problem. This is a really incredible legislative session this year. There are numerous bills being offered by just a very few House representatives that attack the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency, the Commission. One of the issues is this deer farming bill that we beat back last year. Conservationists, deer hunters in the state beat this thing back in the Conservation Committee, but the sponsor of the bill is also chair of the House Agriculture Committee, Frank Nicely, and he was able this year to rewrite the bill to run it through just his committee. So it's a backdoor approach to trying to get this white-tailed deer farming going here in the state.
Well, how much money, if they pull this off, how much money is that going to end up costing the state of Tennessee?
Well, actually, it could cost in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. Particularly if some of the diseases that we're mostly concerned about are actually come to the state of Tennessee. The bovine tuberculosis, if it gets, that is transmittable, deer will carry it. It's transmittable into cattle industry. Here's one of the topics on white-tailed deer farming. This particular slide is from one of the operators in another state, because we cannot possess white-tailed deer in this state. But this is what these hunters are after, these really unusual racks. You know, they'll pay thousands of dollars to go into a pen and shoot one of these animals just so that they can have the head mounted on their wall.
Well, how do the racks get to where they look like that? I mean, that looks like that's almost biological tampering right there.
It is genetic engineering.
Selective breeding and genetic engineering.
Exactly.
To make a trophy deer that's not really a real deer. It's something that's been manufactured by a farmer for a profit to sell to a hunter who can't go out and hunt like everybody else. He has to stand and shoot in a barrel.
That's right.
To kill a trophy.
That's right. And a lot of these, these deer are hand-fed. I mean, they're hand-raised. So
they're not scared of a hunter when he shows up.
No, I wouldn't call them hunters. They're shooters.
They're shooters, yeah.
Yeah, if we had some of the other, this is the Tennessee chapter of the Wildlife Society. Is an international, well, the Wildlife Society itself is an international professional society of wildlife biologists, managers, and scientists. And they've reviewed over 225 scientific studies this year. And this is some of the information that's readily available, but they included in their their study, and it's bovine tuberculosis, which deer can carry and transmit then to cattle herds. In Michigan alone, their state has spent over $150 million just trying to control bovine tuberculosis. The $10 million in cattle sales, once bovine TB gets into a cattle herd, then there are national United States Department of Agriculture rules that come into effect on the transport of these animals, these cattle outside the state. Minnesota is another one. The Minnesota Department of Natural Resources just spent $2.5 million on deer trying to deal with bovine tuberculosis. The United States Department of Agriculture has contributed $68 million. In addition, the Minnesota Board of Animal Health has contributed, $6.3 million on just efforts to try and control bovine tuberculosis. But for us, the major problem is chronic wasting disease. This is a disease that's incurable. It's undetectable in living deer. It is extremely pervasive. You can't really get rid of it. It's a prion, which is like a protein. It's not actually a living organism. It can stay in the soil for who knows how long, hundreds of years. And just Wisconsin alone, they've spent $41 million to reduce the losses of white-tailed deer just to chronic wasting disease. And these figures are several years old, so it's worse. And this is where chronic wasting disease currently occurs in North America. You can see there are areas in the yellow there is where it's been identified in cervid populations, and then the lighter green areas is where it's in captive bred population. These deer farms. In Missouri, just in last month, they found that these deer had in fact been infected. They're wild deer infected. Minnesota deer was found within 3 miles of a captive cervid facility that previously had tested positive for chronic wasting disease. It also had bovine tuberculosis in it. Chronic wasting disease, positive captive cervid facilities, which are deer, elk, and moose, have been the source of infection in almost every case of chronic wasting disease in wild deer.
Okay, so this is bad stuff.
This is very bad stuff. It's
and
incurable.
we need to see that this doesn't happen.
That's correct.
Now, how do we need to make sure that this doesn't happen in the state of Tennessee, and what are some of the bills that are being put forth? How are they going to affect the oversight committees or the oversight organizations that we have now? What about the regular hunter and fisher? Are they going to be able to hunt and fish the way they want to, or is y'all's group even going to exist?
Well, the last year.
Tell us the bad stuff and how we can fix it.
Yeah, this bad stuff here is. How you fix it is this afternoon at 1:30, the House Agriculture Committee, which Mr. Nicely chairs, that's really pushing his House Bill 3164, will hear that bill. The Tennessee Wildlife Federation has done a blanket information email distribution, and we've already generated something like 4,000 responses to the members of the House Ag Committee. The other side, what this bill would do, it removes from the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency all of their ability to oversee white-tailed deer farming. They will have nothing to do with it. The sole agency responsible for managing these white-tailed deer farms, it makes them basically domesticated animals or domestic animals. So the Department of Agriculture, which really does not have the field staff that TWRA has, they can't really monitor it. So that's a problem. And then
they can't even send the proper people to a horse show.
We've heard that too. But we're trying to deal with the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Commission issue right now, and our local representative here, Judd Matheny, has been extremely helpful. In fact, he's sponsoring a bill that supposedly will be heard today in the House Conservation Committee, HB 2776, that will actually keep the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Commission going, and it will really be beneficial to the agency. If folks would like some additional information, they can go to the website there, www.twrs.gov. TN Wildlife. It's TennesseeWildlifeFederation.org. And there's a little blinking light at the top that deals with a lot of these legislative issues. There's over 12 or 13 different issues, bills that are going before the House Conservation Committees now, this session, that really need attention. Things that are ridiculous, like removing the authority of wildlife officers to enforce public safety laws, removing from the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency their ability to actually shut down a wildlife management area for public safety concerns. And the list goes on and on, John.
It's crazy, crazy. Well, we want you folks to know that this gentleman right here, our own Tullahoma's own Monty Halcomb, is one of the people who has written some of this counter legislative, some of the measures that have gone into trying to get this stopped, and you've worked in that arena for your whole life, basically.
Yes.
And we're proud of you for stepping up and for coming here and helping us understand on our show, and helping our viewers out there to understand more about what's actually happening and how they can take a stand against it.
Well, thank you for having me.
You're more than welcome, and you're always welcome back.
Thank you.
Monty Halcomb, my buddy. Folks, we'll be right back after these messages.
I'm Lori Thompson.
And I'm Mike Thompson, and we own Thompson Ford in Tullahoma, Tennessee. Lori and I bought the dealership back. It's on Highway 55. Same dealership that we had for 10 years. Look forward to serving you for another 10. Thank you to the community. Thank you for allowing us to be here for the last 15 years. Thank you for having us raise our family here.
Thank you for all your support.
It's been a great place. It's a great place to live. Look forward to living here. Put me in the ground here. I'd be proud to do it. God bless America, and God bless Tennessee.
Our office used to look like this, but now with My Paper-Free Office from R.J. Young, it's easy. We've made all of our files electronic and stored them in our virtual filing cabinet, which gave us tons of space. And Bob here, a big promotion. Melissa can pull files in minutes and spends hours on Facebook. And Kyle's confidential files stay confidential.
We're not totally paper-free, right?
My Paper-Free Office from R.J. Young. It's that easy.
Good can overcome. That is where your contributions to the Salvation Army go.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. As we were talking in our opening segment, we were talking about, of course, today's Valentine's Day, and we've, for you folks, especially you guys out there who have forgotten to get your wife or special someone, let me turn my mic on here, someone a gift for today, then we have a couple of people that are going to tell you how to get out of this dilemma that you're in. I have Don Wilson and Stephanie Spiegel from Harton Regional Medical Center, and actually I'm kidding about that. February is Heart Month, and Don is the director of
cardiology services.
Cardiology services at Harton Regional Medical Center. A good month, and the purpose of this month, of course, is to raise awareness about heart health. Tell us a little bit about what we should be thinking about.
Sure. Actually, heart disease still remains the #1 killer of Americans in the United States. About one person dies every minute in the United States from heart disease. And so at Harton, we're trying to promote a healthy heart. And what we've put together for February is a promotion that we're actually having a series of tests where person can come into the hospital and have tests done to see how healthy their heart is. It consists of a lipid profile, which measures your cholesterol levels and kind of the bad part of the blood. Then it looks at your glucose to make sure that you don't have a lot of sugar in your blood for diabetics, which is a cause of heart disease. Then we take an EKG, electrocardiogram, looking at the rhythm of the heart, and along with the blood pressure, and then we'll do a risk profile, looking at how do you live, what's your lifestyle, your exercising, what's your diet, and look at a variety of factors to see what your risk of a heart attack is.
And that's all done right there at the hospital.
It's all done right there at the hospital.
Okay.
On an outpatient basis, so you can call and schedule it and come in. Probably take an hour tops, and you'll be out of there.
Oh, okay. And if I recall correctly, that there's a very reasonable price for this, is there not?
It's $45.
Unbelievable.
And it's probably a value of well over $300.
Mm-hmm. So what happens? You guys actually evaluate the results of this test and advise someone where they need to see a
Correct. If we find any abnormalities, we will obviously contact their physician and let them know of those abnormalities, and then obviously we'll talk to them about better ways to improve their lifestyle. If we found some things that they need to exercise more, maybe change their diet, etc. It's kind of almost like a one-on-one counseling session where we actually talk to them about things they can do to improve and lower their risk of heart disease.
Can you speak a little more specifically about, like cholesterol, for instance? How does that affect your heart health?
Well, what it is, it's fatty deposits in the blood, and over time, those fatty deposits will build up in the actual blood vessels that feed the heart muscle with its blood supply. Then, as those the actual vessels start to narrow down, the blood supply to the heart gets diminished. And what happens when a person has a heart attack, it's actually almost like if you're having a cramp in your leg. The heart muscle begins to spasm, and that's what you feel as chest pain. And so again, the buildup of that cholesterol is not something very healthy for a person. So we actually will evaluate that. If a person is having chest pain, they can actually have an invasive procedure done, which we call a cardiac cath. We're actually going and inject dye into the heart arteries and actually can see those narrowings if they're there.
Do you actually treat that? You treat that at Heartland as well, do you not?
Yes, we do. We actually, if we find that a person has a blockage, we can actually go into that vessel and put in what they call a coronary stent. It's a little looks like almost a ballpoint spring that we actually put inside of that vessel, and actually we take a little balloon that stent is mounted on, and it's inflated, and it compresses that fatty deposits and opens that vessel back up, and then that little metal stent stays inside the actual coronary artery.
So elevated cholesterol levels means that you are certainly more at risk.
You're more prone. Correct.
Oh, okay. What do you learn from, say, an electrocardiogram?
Electrocardiogram, if a person has heart disease, you'll see some abnormalities. There's a normal rhythm, and that you look like a normal tracing, as we call it. And if there's abnormalities, those will show up on that electrocardiogram. It's actually the electrical activity of the heart is what you're measuring in an electrocardiogram.
Okay. And we might mention that electrocardiogram, any of the tests that we're talking about in this panel of tests that you're doing to detect your heart health in general, they're not painful.
No, none of them are painful. All very
non-invasive.
Non-invasive and
right.
done. Yeah, exactly.
Right. There are, I think, good cholesterol, bad cholesterol. And can you speak to that just a little bit?
Sure. Actually, the good cholesterol, which is actually something that actually helps prevent that buildup, is one of the cholesterols that obviously you measure, and it's okay if it's high. And obviously, there's a bad cholesterol, which is the one that it's the fatty part of the cholesterol that actually causes those buildups in the coronary arteries, and those are the ones that obviously you want to try and reduce. That number is what they look at, and keep it low. So again, the various types of foods you're going to eat, they stay away from the very high fat foods, again, to keep that cholesterol level low.
Triglycerides, I think, are something they look at also. Tell us a little bit about
triglycerides, again, are one of the types of fatty deposits in the actual blood that you're looking at. And again, it's one of those bad things that if your triglycerides are high, you certainly are more prone to having heart disease.
What I would imagine that your diet plays a lot.
Low fat. You want to keep low fat diet. Certainly, the McDonald's and the other vendors, the fast food restaurants, are something you want to try and stay away from. The food that they serve in those are very high in fats, and again, fats are something that certainly are not good for the cholesterol level of your body, and so you want to try and keep away from those high fat foods.
This, again, being Heart Health Month, I would think it's extremely important that you monitor these things, or that you are aware of these things early on before it becomes a serious problem.
Yeah, I think there's certain risk factors that people have, and it's probably, if you're prone to it, you have a family history of heart disease, I think you should minimally have it probably checked at least once a year, your cholesterol level. Again, your blood pressure, it's something you should monitor. Again, if there's a family history of blood pressure, you want to try and keep your blood pressure sugar down within reasonable limits. Again, exercise. There's so much that exercise can do to promote your body as a whole. If you're out and you exercise 3 times a week for an hour, and that sounds like a lot, but it really is not. You know, just things that you can do as a way you live your life that actually can help prevent, even if you have a high family history, that just precautions of watching what you eat and exercise can actually reduce your risk, even if you have that family history.
And you speak of family history. That's hugely important in these things.
Hugely important. I mean, again, it just seems your makeup and your genes, if you've had that family history, you're more prone to having heart disease. Again, one of the things I haven't mentioned is smoking. Obviously, any type of smoking, tobacco products are certainly not good for heart disease at all either.
And when we talk about smoking, there are, I believe, several new drugs out there that will help you stop smoking. Is there?
Yes, there's several. There's drugs, there's patches, there's a variety of different processes that a person can go through, and I think we offer it at Heart in a smoke preventative type of program.
We do.
Yeah, so.
Oh, I didn't know that. You do.
We do offer a smoking cessation class.
Oh, okay.
Through our education department.
Oh, okay. Learn something new. Learn something new today. So, before a person begins to exercise, I would imagine they probably should check with their physician before they do that.
They should check with their physician. Obviously, middle-aged elderly as I am, should check with your physician to make sure that you certainly are in condition, that you just want to go out and if you maybe have some heart disease and you aren't aware of it and you go out and exercise, that's certainly not the right thing you want to do. So it's best to get checked out by your physician first before you go into any type of a structured exercise program. I think particularly for the middle-aged and elderly people, I think that's something certainly.
And the other thing about this healthy heart screening that we offer, it's ideal for people who are in that middle-aged category who probably don't go to the doctor every year because you don't have other issues. So nobody's necessarily checking an EKG. At that age of 35, that you're not having other issues, you're monitoring regularly. This is a way to get those tests done, just to have a once-a-year screening so that you have a baseline established, so that each year as you look at that, if those numbers are changing, cholesterol, blood pressure, that's a clue for you to be following up with a physician further. But it's ideal for that in-between age. If you're being followed by a cardiologist already regularly for other medications or other issues, this may not be the test. But it's for that group that maybe falls through the crack. You're not there yet. Just not having regular exams. You don't go to the doctor unless you're sick. This is a way to get those screenings done so you can establish that baseline.
Something I think I heard you say at another event was that heart disease is pretty prevalent among women, and you don't often think of that. You don't really.
Absolutely. Again, it is the #1 cause of death in women 65 and older, and the #2 cause of death in the United States of women between 45 and 64 years old. So again, it is very predominant. I think that the awareness in women of heart disease, as you've mentioned, is not very prevalent, and is something that it affects everyone. It's not just a man's disease. It is also can affect all ages.
Okay, so women, you need to be careful as well.
That is correct.
You need to be aware of that as well. Okay, now you mentioned the cost for this panel of tests is like
$45.
$45.
Right.
So what do they do? They need to call, I'm sure, and make it.
You can call our one call scheduling, which is 461-4800, and they'll set that up. You do not have to have a physician's order for this. It's a private pay. You just pay your $45 flat rate. We'll provide you with those results. You're welcome to take those back to your primary care doctor, or if you need follow-up, we'll help with follow-through on that. But just call and schedule 461-4800.
Okay, and we might mention that there are a lot of good cardiologists available right here in Tullahoma.
Yes.
And I'm sure that if you need to see one, that you guys, if you don't have one, you guys can make a recommendation. You can assist them with that.
Correct.
All right.
Absolutely.
So I think that's probably the number on the screen there they call. Is that correct?
That's it.
That's
okay.
correct.
All right. Okay. So give them a call. This is a great opportunity. If you haven't already done so, to get yourself checked out. You can also do it at a great price at Hart Regional Medical Center right here in Tullahoma. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Appreciate it very much.
Thanks.
You have already dealt with the Valentine's thing, right?
Yes.
I mean, okay. I just want to make sure. All right. Okay, we'll be right back in just a moment, folks. Right after this.
all that attention. All you wanted was...
Hello, this is J.D. Oliver from the Smokehouse on Monte Eagle Mountain. Me and my sisters Nancy and Betsy would like to thank you all for your continued support. This year we're celebrating our 50-year anniversary at the Smokehouse. In conjunction with our 50-year celebration, we are bringing Music on the Mountain every Saturday night at 7 p.m. till 10 p.m. featuring the best of Nashville. We have had some wonderful singers, hit songwriters, and Nashville's rising stars have taken the stage. Come out this Saturday night and every Saturday night through the end of the year. Make it a date night or bring the whole family. Help us celebrate 50 years in the community. Music on the Mountain is free every Saturday night at Jim Oliver's Smokehouse.
Hey, this is Sean Mayer. I'd like to invite everybody out to the Smokehouse every Saturday night for great music and awesome food.
Thank you very much, y'all.
Some people think that pressing their on-demand button will cost money or make their house explode or something. Of course, neither of these things is true. On-demand is just a way to access thousands of free movies and TV shows. The code to blow up a house is actually channel up, channel down, 2*77.
On demand, thousands of free movies and TV shows on your schedule, and nothing bad.
All right, folks, this past weekend, Keep Coffee County Beautiful had their annual Groundhog Ball fundraiser, and we're going to take you to some video of that. And after Jim Oliver's commercial there, which one do you use with groundhog? Fiery burning butts or blazing rectums barbecue sauce? Whichever one kills the taste of groundhog, we've got them right here. Let's go to the Groundhog Ball. Yeah. There, let's wave it. There's Jim and Nancy Fuller of Charter Channel 6 at the Groundhog Ball. Look at those two girls. Isn't that pretty? Beautiful face right there. Look at that. Is that not lovely? And the people keep coming in. It's Groundhog time here in Tullahoma, Tennessee. This is the Keep Coffee County Beautiful, and this is one of those things that we all do to make our county a beautiful and better place. And there's Mayor Curley at the Groundhog Ball. Good evening, sir.
Good to be here. Thank you.
And this is the room where all the silent auction items are. There's my friend Jordan Ennis right there. Hello, young man. Look at all these lovely people. There's Linda Toma. Hi, Miss Linda.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're getting ready to start dinner here shortly. The silent auction will be open until 8 o'clock. So if you need to come back and check on your bid, make sure you've got something. You will have time. And it is not against the rules to bid more than the value. So I just thought I'd let you know.
This is the 2012 Groundhog Ball, and here are our sponsors: the gold, the silver,
try to slow down, but if I talk too fast, once again, just means I'm excited. First, I'd like to recognize our sponsors. Our gold sponsors: Coca-Cola Bottling Works, Traders Bank, Biome Manufacturing, American City Bank, and Southern Community Bank. Our silver sponsors: Stroop's Accurate Refrigeration, Ross Tin, Extend Federal Credit Union, Marvel Clinic, Stan McNabb Automotive, Century 21 Mid-State Realty, and First National Bank. We would also like to say thank you to the numerous local businesses that donated items for our silent auction and our Groundhog Ball. We could not be successful without the support of the area business and the local community.
Get easy. Nibbling on sponge cake, watching the sun bathe. All those tourists are covered with oil. Strumming my cigarette.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, now we are with Fran Gray, the president of Keep Coffee County Beautiful, and Scott Riddell, the executive director. It's the end of the evening of the Groundhog Ball, and how about it? Have we done good?
We have had a wonderful night. Lots of wonderful groundhogs here at this fabulous ball. Lots of support from a wonderful board. Scott here has done a fantastic job getting us through this major fundraising event.
Oh, no, it was Ginger. Oh,
and Ginger Ennis, it was our chairman, and all of our committee members have just been working so hard, and we're really grateful for the teamwork we have in this group.
Scott, what about it?
Oh yeah, and another thing is just the support of the local community this year. I mean, the sponsorship and the donations for the silent auctions. I mean, it was an abundance of support from their community this year. I'm just really, really pleased and just appreciate the support we've gotten from them this year.
Well, we want to thank both of you for what you do throughout the year for Coffee County, Tullahoma, Manchester, the county as a whole. It's wonderful, the mission that you're on, and I'm glad that people have stepped up to help you support that.
Well, thank you. We're very grateful, and we've done a lot of work, but there's so much yet to be done to continue to educate our citizens, to help them change their habits, to raise their awareness of what the planet needs to be healthy, and for the next generations to have a safe, clean place to live. So together we're trying to get that, and having these kinds of resources will really help us move on in our teaching and our work that we do to clean up and beautify. So we are very grateful for our great evening.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
There's one place women of all ages can find the care they need. The Women's Center at Harton Regional Medical Center. We're a full-service women's center with comprehensive obstetrical and gynecological surgery. Our excellent customer satisfaction rate is a reflection of our commitment to excellence. To serve you even better, we've now remodeled our facility. Our family-friendly birth center features private labor, delivery, and recovery suites. For every stage of your life, we're there for you. The Women's Center at Harton Regional Medical Center.
Get Tullahoma's news first, fast, and free with Tullahoma's News Leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Jimmy and Jenny bring you local weather, sports, community calendar events, birth announcements, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Tullahoma's news, get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
When you see the sign, The Main Event, take a close look inside at a hair studio that offers services by some of the best master stylists in Middle Tennessee. These stylists offer a list of services that compete with large city salons, from trendy cuts for men, women, and children to the latest color techniques, including highlights and bold color accents. Other services offered include permanent hair weaving and relaxing to formal hairstyle for that special occasion. You can also give yourself a very special treat with a full makeover, including full body waxing. For your convenience, we are open Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. until the last client leaves happy. Call and make your appointment at 931-571-8682 or stop by our Tullahoma location at 207 North Jackson Street. Pamper yourself at The Main Event today.
How long has it been since you raced a cheetah? Are your tornado creating skills getting rusty? Tired of being the only one in your neighborhood who hasn't built a dinosaur? Sounds like it's time to visit the Hands-On Science Center. The Hands-On Science Center is an indoor science playground. In this museum, please touch is the rule. Join us for weekly science demonstrations on space, lasers, lizards, rocks, and a whole lot more. No two visits are ever the same, so visit often to see our ever-changing exhibits and demonstrations. The Hands-On Science Center, 101 Mitchell Boulevard in Tullahoma.
Daddy Billy's and then Feathers. You'll be glad you hung around. I'm on the set today with Terry Kanan, who is with Tullahoma Chiropractic,
and Kathy Pelton, who is with Good Samaritan here in Tullahoma. And you guys are all about raising money today, is that right?
Yes, we are.
Okay, let's tell about the chiropractic offering.
Okay.
And let's go to that first. What are you all doing?
Well, what we're doing for this week, February 13th through the 17th, as long as you call by the 17th, what we're doing is we're doing a fundraiser for Good Samaritan
Good.
to help out in our community. And to help people who are, having any problems with their back or neck or arms, shoulder. And we are offering free visits the whole entire week for all new patients.
Let's give that phone number right now. You go ahead and give it, and they'll put it on the screen.
Okay, it's 393-2401.
And if you call that number and make an appointment by Friday.
By Friday.
By Friday.
The 17th. You get, for $20, which is a donation to the Good Samaritan,
Yes.
All new patients will receive any x-rays that Dr. Koenen may feel necessary, an exam, a consultation, a computerized pinched nerve test.
Wow, that sounds like about $300 worth of stuff.
It's about $245 value.
That's a wonderful
and a
thing to
15-minute
do.
chair massage. So you
I
get
think
the whole
$20 is worth the 15-minute chair massage.
Yes,
don't you?
yes.
It's a way for people to find out if Dr. Koenen can help them and how we can help them. And it's a way, obviously, to give back to the community.
That's a wonderful thing for you all to do. $20 for everybody that walks in. And if you want to just donate and not walk in, you can do that too.
You can do that.
Tell us a little bit about how you two hooked up.
Well,
to do
Terry gave me a call a few weeks ago, and she offered to do this fundraising event for us. And I was just thrilled to get the offer, and it's been great working with her, and I know they're working hard to get the word out about this, and so are we. And I've got to say, if you just go to Terry's office.
Where is that office? Let's give that address.
It's across from Sonic on Jackson Street.
The new Sonic on
Right.
Jackson Street, right across the street. So you can't miss it. Just call the number and make an appointment right away.
Yes.
Because I'll bet your people are working.
We're working really
solid right now.
Yeah, solid.
Yes,
Yeah,
the
no one's
phone's been
taking a break.
ringing. And that office is just something to see. Really, I was impressed.
Thank you.
She invited me over there a few days ago and gave me the grand tour of their facility.
It's a
And
beautiful place, huh?
It's awesome, and they just have all the best of everything.
Let's talk about some of the services, the wonderful services that Good Samaritan offers to needy, do we say needy in our community?
Yes, yes.
Tell us about some of those things.
We can help families with food, electric or gas bills, medications.
Oh. Like if they can't afford to buy their medicine that is prescribed by doctors?
Yes.
You can help with that?
Yes. And we help stranded travelers, and we help connect people with different counseling services they may need. We have a person on staff, Tim Keller, who works very closely with helping people find jobs, get back to work, and become gainful again.
It might be important that we remind people that the number on the screen is the chiropractic office.
It is. It's Tullahoma
And
Chiropractic.
maybe people would like Good Samaritan phone number in case they're looking for help.
Certainly.
What
That's
would that be?
455-7353.
455-7353. If they catch it, they'll put it up. If not, you can look it up in the phone book. It's easy enough to find, I think.
Sure.
Or call our office. We'll be happy to give it to you.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
I am so impressed that you're willing to do this. I wonder if people out there realize how much good a chiropractor can do. Like if you have chronic back pain or just little kinks in your back. I know I had a pulled hip, and a chiropractor helped me a lot.
Right. We really help a lot of people, and it's quite rewarding and a very fun place.
And I think you help to keep people off of medication.
Right. That's our goal is to keep you pain-free and
off
hopefully
of medication. And I've heard some wonderful stories, and I know you have too.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
So this offer is over Friday, so you need to make your call right away and make this appointment. Do you have any idea how many people you service in a week?
In a week,
or in a month?
In a month, we generally help about 100 families just with food, and then in addition to that, somewhere between 50 and 60 usually. With some of the other things that we offer, assistance with the utilities and so forth.
Now I know you have a big sale coming up on President's Day. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Okay, yes.
February 21st?
Right,
okay.
right. February 21st, our thrift store is going to run a President's Day sale, and usually everything goes for $1, the clothing, but during this special day sale, it's going to be 50 cents.
Anything in the store? I mean, just about anything in the store is 50 cents?
Some things are less than 50 cents.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Purses and shoes are a quarter. Now, if it's something like a wedding dress or a prom dress, those aren't going to go for 50 cents. But just about everything else.
So really people have no excuse not to find the clothes they need. They can come right to your thrift store.
Mm-hmm.
And how about volunteers? Are you always looking for volunteers?
We are. And as a matter of fact, we just had 2 new people come on and join our board of directors. And then we've had several new volunteers start in the last couple of weeks. And so we welcome anyone who would like to come and talk to me about volunteering. And
so about how many hours do your volunteers work? Do they just sign up for the time they have? How does that work?
They just tell us when they're available, and then we look in the schedule and see when we have a spot to where it would be good if we had an extra person there. And we mainly operate Good Samaritan on volunteers.
I see.
Very few staff.
So it takes a lot of volunteers.
It does.
And I encourage people to come and volunteer. Terry, what are your hours?
Oh, we're open Monday through Friday from 8 in the morning to 5:30 at night.
So if people want an appointment, hopefully will you run these appointments into the next weeks?
We will. We
as
will.
long as they have called.
As long as they
Friday.
call, we will do that, yes. Yeah, of course we'll honor that because we're really trying to raise as much money as we can.
Exactly.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I think it's wonderful. And recently you said you all got some money from somewhere. Was it a grant?
Yes, recently we received a grant from the Presbytery of Middle Tennessee. And that grant was for $2,000. And as in the wintertime, during all the holidays, everybody's thinking about giving, but then when that's over,
they don't think about it as much. So people need to think about it all the time.
They do.
Every time you're cleaning out your closets or you have some extra money, go by Good Samaritan and drop it off.
Yes.
Because you take, I would think, especially in the winter, you need coats and socks and shoes and all manner of things.
We do, and blankets and all that kind of thing. But our thrift store is open every day, Tuesday through Friday from 9 until 2, and then Saturday from 10 until 4. Now we're closed on Monday as far as the store is concerned, but the drive-through around the back of the building.
You can still bring stuff and drop it off.
You can still bring stuff, and there'll be men out there to help unload it, and it's a great place to find bargains, and it's open to the public.
You do a wonderful service, and Tullahoma and the region is proud of what you do. And Terry, tell your husband how much it means to us that he's volunteering all these services.
He's at the office working hard right now.
I know he is. And don't forget the number to call to get your $20, $300 almost worth of stuff. Is that the Good Samaritan number?
Nope, that's our
yours?
office.
All right, be sure and write that down. We'll be back with more of Living. Thanks, girls.
Thank you.
Since 1985, Life Communications and Security has been a household word in Middle Tennessee, mainly because people trust and believe in Life Communications and Securities in the work they do. Led by owner Jeff Wooten, LCS has continued to grow and earn the support of their many customers. When we ask businesses and homeowners who they put their trust in, these are the answers we receive.
Tommy Anderton with Traders Bank. When it comes to security and communications, we call Life Communications.
For all of our security needs at First Vision Bank, we call Life Communications.
Life Communications is a small investment for us to take care of our major investment.
Knowing this, why would you ever call anyone else for your security or communications needs? Call Life Communications and Security at 931-455-9016 or 1-866-535-9016. That's Life Communications and Security.
I'm Marley Matlin for the American Red Cross. In an emergency, infants and children can't always tell you what's wrong. Being able to read critical signs and knowing how to respond can make all the difference. The Red Cross offers infant and child CPR training, where you can learn how to recognize and respond to respiratory and cardiac emergencies. Visit www.redcross.org or call 1-800-HELP-NOW. Together, we can save a life.
For things other people get right away just doesn't make much sense. Get high-speed charter internet and enjoy downloads way faster than DSL.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back. And last week, I had the opportunity to do some service to my county and my country by being involved in jury selection. And it's something that comes up to all of us from time to time, and you don't really know what it's all about. I hear people say, oh my goodness, jury duty. Well, what we decided to do was take a camera over there and film the jury duty orientation, and we're going to bring you a couple of segments of that from time to time that will help you understand what being part of a juror or being part of a jury is in your home county where you live, and how it's something that you should do as part of the service that you give your county, your community, and your country. Step up. Enjoy yourself. Jury duty.
They pick somewhere between 150 to 200 people per month for jury service, and they come into the circuit courtroom here at the Justice Center, where we conduct an orientation just to kind of tell them what we expect of them as jurors and to answer any questions that they might have pertaining to their jury service.
All right. Well, we're going to go to that, and you know, we really do appreciate what you and your group do for all of us here in this county, and making things fair and square for everybody. And how pleasant you are about the way you go about it.
Well, thank you. I appreciate the citizens of Coffee County letting me stay here. I've been here for 17 years, and I feel like we have a very good justice system here, and I hope after the end of our session you'll feel good about it as well.
Thank you.
Thank you. I have a list of things that I'm going to cover for you today in no particular order. However, if you have questions about something, I want you to ask as we go. And if it's something that I intend to cover later, I will tell you I'm going to address that in a few minutes. If I fail to, you raise your hand again, and I will answer your question. Pretty much everything we do here pertaining to jury service is dictated by one state law or another. Okay? There's a law that says you must be a resident of Coffee County to serve as a juror in Coffee County. Another law says in order to serve as a juror, you cannot have been a convicted felon. Before 2009, if you were over the age of 70, you could, if you chose, automatically exempt yourself from jury service. Okay? The state legislature did away with that law in 2009. They said now it doesn't matter how old you are, you still are subject for jury duty. Okay? So we are an equal opportunity without regard to age jury service candidate. Another change that took place. Used to, if you did not successfully comply with your jury service obligation, you were subject to a $25 per day fine for each day that you did not comply. They did away with that and said now you are subject to a flat $500 fine. Okay? Now, that's why we have jury orientation, so that you can understand what we expect of you and have your questions answered, and we will have no one assessed a $500 fine. Because hopefully when everyone leaves here today, you are going to totally understand your jury obligation. Okay? Another change. Before 2009, we had a manual jury system. Okay? What do I mean by that? I mean, just as the law said then, at that time, for every 2-year period, our circuit judges appointed 3 jury commissioners. And those jury commissioners, every 2 years, the clerk's office was told by the judges, obtain list of driver's license owners, property owners, and registered voters who live in Coffee County. So our office did that. We gave those lists to the 3 appointed jury commissioners. The jury commissioners identified some 12,000 total names off those lists and brought those lists with the 12,000 names identified, and we, in the clerk's office, put each of those 12,000 names on a little individual card. And that little individual card was put in a big barrel, and at that time, a child under the age of 10 drew some 600 names out of that barrel for every jury term of service. Okay? That was how our jury was selected. We've kept the big barrel just for historical purposes, if any of you should desire to see it. Anyway, the law changed in 2009 to say you may no longer use the registered voter list for your jury service names. You can still use licensed drivers, you can still use property owners. Now, why did they do that? I have not a clue. I suspect because I have heard people myself say, I'm not going to register to vote because I don't want to be called for jury service. So, go tell your friends and neighbors it is now, it's safe. You can register to vote. Now, however, you have to forfeit your driver's license and sell all your property to be safe from jury duty. Okay? So, that was another change. And the final change was the state recommended an automated jury selection process with rolling 30-day terms of service. Okay? I'm happy to say that that didn't affect us at all. We already had our rolling 30-day terms of service, which I will explain to you in a few minutes. We do, however, have an automated jury system now in our office. We basically tell it how many names to give us, and it spits those names out. So that's how you got here. It's not a very great story. You know, the computer gave us your name. It was a lot more interesting to say a child under the age of 10 picked your name out of a big barrel. But we did away with that. Now, I want to explain to you the difference in a trial jury and a grand jury, because I'm sure you've heard that terminology before. You all are trial jurors. Okay, that is what you will do. That means each time you are here, you're going to hear one case. And you're going to hear that case from beginning to end, and you're going to make a decision in that case. Now, you might hear a civil case, and you might hear a criminal case. A civil case is when one party or parties has sued another party or parties. Examples might be slip and fall type cases, car wreck type cases, medical malpractice. Those are all examples of civil cases. Another kind of case, criminal cases, obviously someone has allegedly broken the law. A crime has been committed. So the jury would then be responsible for deciding that case, guilt or innocence in that case. A grand jury meets, our grand jury here meets in January, April, and August, with midterm sessions in March and October. Okay? The grand jury's responsibility is to decide, is there enough evidence in this case to indict or bring charges against this individual? So when the grand jury is here, they might just be here a day and a half, 2 days or so, and they will hear many cases, sometimes as many as 100, sometimes more than 100. But again, they're not hearing all the evidence, they're only hearing a portion of the evidence.
Serving you as a local firefighter. Proudly served our country in the United States Air Force. Serving Tullahoma. helping our kids.
Hi, I'm Terry Stroop. Your comfort is our service. We'd like to thank Tullahoma for the privilege of serving your heating and cooling needs.
How can toys like these lead to a 6-year-old's death and leave another child permanently brain damaged? Because they're not toys at all. A safety message from your local fire department and this station.
Oh, there's my cat. Should I put her away?
Lighten it up a little bit.
How's this? Great.
Good. There we go.
So you've been meaning to do something healthy, commune with nature, get outdoors, and meet new people. We have the perfect solution. Come hike with us. You can find a Tennessee Trails Association chapter near you, including Clarksville, Columbia Franklin, Cove Lake, Highland Rim, Jackson, Knoxville, Oak Ridge, Martin Weakley, Memphis, Murfreesboro, Nashville, Plateau at Crossville, Rugby in the Big South Fork, and Upper Cumberland. We're on the web at TennesseeTrails.org. It's fun, it's stress-free, and it's good for you. See you on the trails.
All right, folks, it's time for our business spotlight, and as you know, each week we spotlight a business locally in the area, and we are so pleased to have Motlow College as our business spotlight this week, and I am so proud to have the lovely Miss Brenda Cannon on here with me from Motlow College, and we haven't seen Brenda in a while. You're just so busy.
Oh, no, not too busy for you, John. Thank you for being here, for letting me be here. Good morning.
Honey. Good morning. And first off is how everything's just going great at Motlow College.
Everything is fast and furious, believe it or not. The end of this month, we will be at midterms of this semester. Graduation is the first Saturday in May, so things are rolling at Motlow College.
Basketball games are being played, baseball games are being played, and softball and all the, folks, and the athletics at Motlow are really great, and all of those events out there are free.
Absolutely free. This past weekend, we just celebrated our homecoming festivities, and yes, we are on the downside of basketball. The team is traveling today. They play in Memphis tomorrow, and baseball is up and running. Softball begins like the 25th toward the end of the month, so it's happening. It's on.
It's on at Motlow.
It's on.
Now, one thing I want to ask you, and I know there's an event at Motlow Thursday night. We're celebrating Black History Month.
We are.
And there is a lovely, lovely, talented lady who is going to be speaking at Motlow Thursday night. Would you tell us about that?
Oh, my pleasure. We have the absolute pleasure of bringing to Motlow College, Moore County campus, for the entire community, Dr. Tania Stewart, sometimes known as Tony Stewart. But Dr. Stewart is a professor at Alabama State, but she's known because she is a professional actress. She used to play as Aunt Etta Kibbe in The Heat of the Night. You remember In the Heat of the Night? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Some people don't, but In the Heat of the Night was so real, and
yes, it was.
Probably much more real to her because she is a native Mississippian. So she just integrated herself, her background, her experiences, her real life into that role, and she did a phenomenal job of that. But today she is a professional actress, continues, but she's also, as I said, a professor at Alabama State. So we're bringing a playwright, a director, a philanthropist, a person who has numerous camps for people who are interested in theater, a person who works very hard in her community, to our community, for everybody who can to come and see and hear her speak about her experiences and her successes that she attributes to so many people, and she takes very little credit independently for those successes, but she is a role model for many, and it's an opportunity that we are so proud. I mean, so proud to be able to yield to the community.
Yeah, this is not just a regional person coming passing through. That's right. This is the real thing.
This is the real thing.
Nationally known, nationally respected.
You got it.
Someone that we all should go and listen to what she has to say. And this is where is this event going to be?
This event
Brenda?
will be held in Ope Hall, Powers Auditorium, on the Moore County campus in Lynchburg, Tennessee, 7:00 p.m. Thursday, okay, the 16th. And for those people who come on Thursday evening, they will have the opportunity to meet her during a public reception following the performance.
Okay. And what time is that again? Is that 7?
7 p.m. She will speak from 7 p.m. until 8. At 8 o'clock, we will begin the public reception.
Okay. That sounds like
the entire
great
community is invited.
Invited everyone. And let me tell you what, folks, this is something that Motlow provides so many wonderful things, and it's kind of funny sometimes. You think of it as Motlow as Tullahoma's greatest secret, because it's sort of out there on the edge, and a lot of people don't participate in the things that are going on out there. And there are many, many wonderful things that happen. And the students, of course, are involved and full, but we as citizens of Tullahoma should make ourselves more available to what Motlow has to offer.
And we try. Community colleges are multi-purposed, and one of the purposes is to connect the college with the community.
Right.
And folks, this is an opportunity. When we do things, we have special guests in, or our sports programs, or our children's plays, or anything. As you said, these opportunities are free. We welcome you. We are your community college. We can't be what we are without you. So we want you to come and participate and support.
Well, I'm going to ask you a question now.
Okay. Is it loaded?
Do you have a Valentine this year?
Oh my God! I asked you if it was loaded.
It's not loaded. That's a real true question.
Well,
you got a Valentine this year?
If I said yes, would you believe me?
Yes.
Okay, if I said no, would you believe me?
Yes.
Okay,
I believe you.
I love it. I love it.
I believe you. I know you.
Oh, okay.
I know you. I know I don't have to worry about whether you're going to lie or not. There's no sense in it.
I just love it. I just love it. You know, because people ask people that, and you'll say, whatever you say, oh, that's not true. So it's like, okay, what do you say?
I'm going to believe you. I'm going to believe you.
Hey, I forgot to wear red today.
Here's Valentine right here, needs to be delivered. Right here she is. You better find a box of candy, a flower, or something. Find this girl.
And it's worth it.
And worth every bit of it. I'll guarantee you that. She is smart. She is wise. She is fun and fun-loving. And you know, I'm just kind of glad to be with Brenda, because throughout the years, Brenda, you've availed yourself not just as a member and part of Motlow College, but you, Brenda Cannon, have availed yourself to our community in many ways and supported many, many things in this town, everything from Rotary to children's work and all kinds of nonprofit work. Yeah. And, you know, we appreciate you for doing those kind of things around here.
Well, you know, I really,
girl.
Well, no, but seriously, I so appreciate the opportunity to serve. Somebody said, service is the rent we pay for being here. The only way communities can be good is for people to invest their energies, their time, and their talents to make it good. And my prayer, literally, is that my investments will yield dividends.
Well, they have.
Thank you.
She's the one that needs to be speaking on Thursday night.
Oh, no. They hear me every day.
My friend Brenda Cannon, right here at Motlow College. Motlow College. You go out there. If you need something, we need a phone number.
Phone number.
Give us a phone number. Call Brenda.
This is my number today, folks.
Valentine's, this is her number.
This is my number. Area code 931-393-1548. 931-393-1548. Call me today. It's Valentine's. And I will tell you all about Dr. Tony Stewart and her performance on Thursday night, 7 o'clock, Oath Hall, Powers Auditorium. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and we invite every single person to come and be a part of it.
Thank you, dear.
Thank you.
Thank Motlow College. We appreciate Motlow College for being one of our spotlight businesses, and they will be back next quarter to talk about another issue or another thing on their sales list or on the list of being the best place in the world for you to go visit, Motlow College.
That's right.
We'll be back after these messages.
I went to several colleges, but when I stepped into this gym, it just felt like home.
Just learning the different techniques and the way Mr. Bryan tells us how to study the subject. Art, that's where it's really at for me.
I decided to go to nursing because I've always wanted to help people. You make those connections that you probably never forget. This is my Motlow, my future.
Citizens Tri-County Bank has the checking, loans, savings, and traditional banking services you want. Plus free internet banking and bill pay, bank your change, Visa gift card, and lots more state-of-the-art banking services. We focus on the service and services you want. So you can bank when, where, and how you want. At our offices or from just about anywhere. Citizens Tri-County Bank, the only community bank you'll ever need.
The highest standard of trust offers a sense of safety and comfort. It's established over time. You know when you see it. You know when you feel it. There's a standard of trust in healthcare. It's the Joint Commission Gold Seal of Approval. In 2003, Life Care Center of Tullahoma voluntarily achieved this accreditation and maintains it still today. Life Care, meeting a higher standard because residents matter most.
This is for my daddy and the chips. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what's up proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming?
At Charter, we're connecting military families with free webcams and the fastest, most reliable internet speeds. Get your webcam at charter.com/canyouSee.
I miss you, Daddy.
All right, we're back.
We're back.
What a good show today.
Did you ever give us the Valentine news?
The Valentine news.
Yeah, the history of Valentine's.
No, that was the history. That was the history I had to give you was
Oh,
the history of that song.
Yeah,
of that
sorry.
song.
Never mind. All right, you know how it is.
And I mean, if Philip wants to, we can end the show with that song over the credits today. If you want to do that, Philip.
That was a nice song.
He could do that, and but we're going to talk just a little bit more before we do that.
But we want people to come on March 8th.
March the 8th.
And have I told you
And
that?
go to Motlow College to hear
goodness,
that
yes.
wonderful speaker out there on Thursday night.
Oh, yeah.
That will be incredible.
Will be incredible, and people need to go. And it's what, free?
Everything at Motlow College is free. It's the greatest deal in Tullahoma.
I know, it's wonderful.
I mean, they bring plays, they bring great sporting events, they bring speakers. There's all kinds of stuff, art shows, all kinds of things going out there, and it doesn't cost anything.
Have we mentioned that Patrick Waller is coming to South Jackson?
What's Patrick going to do? Guys and Dolls?
No, when we do the Shakespeare offering in March.
Oh, is he? He's coming with Lane Davies and Jerry?
Yes.
Wonderful.
I'm excited about that because I don't know if you've seen Patrick and Bell Buckle do the Shakespearean stuff. It's wonderful.
All of them.
I
Been
know
to every one of them.
Anyway, we'll talk about that another
Yeah,
time.
no, that's
But
great.
I'm
That's
excited
great.
about
A lot
that.
of fun.
We're
A lot
proud
of great
Patrick.
things going on.
Thank goodness.
What about you, Jim
Thank
Fuller? What
goodness.
you got going on? I saw you at the groundhog ball.
Yes.
You and Miss Nancy out there
Or they
sashaying around. They boogied a little bit. They
I don't
didn't
think I
boogie
never
much.
got to dance.
That's probably, you probably chose it that way,
You must
didn't you?
always
Fuller
find
snuck
time
out.
to dance. Yeah.
Jacob Gray did enough dancing for you and me both.
I'm sure. I saw John.
Jacob is a class act.
He's
You know
he
that?
loves to dance. My Lord, does he
is
love
wonderful.
to dance.
Have we got the big X already?
We got the big X. What we're going to do is say goodbye, folks. Happy Valentine's to all of you. Be safe out there. Go by and see our sponsors and tell them thank you, because without them, we couldn't be here for you.
That's right.
Happy
We
Valentine's.
appreciate you very much.
Bye-bye.
See you next time.